Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here to do my review of The Walking Dead Season 9 mid-season premiere. I just got done watching it and it was a pretty good episode, and in today's video we're going to talk about it, break it down, and give you guys my thoughts and opinions on it, and I also love to hear from you in the comments down below. But before I do get into the review, I will say spoiler warning in case you haven't seen the episode. But other than that, let's get started. Alright, so this episode was pretty good. It wasn't like, you know, a crazy insane episode like some of the ones we'd had in the first half, but still, it was a really good, enjoyable episode, especially if you're a Negan fan. This was a great Negan episode. The ending was just amazing. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But we're gonna start off with the beginning and talk about the opening minutes. I've talked about that in a previous video, so we're gonna skim right through that actually. But the opening minutes I did like, and that's, you know, I really wish we got more at the graveyard or more with the main group at the beginning dealing with the whispers, because the graveyard sequence is great. And I totally get why they wouldn't want to put more in there. They need to move along with the story, so I get it. So maybe it's just my want for more. It's not that important, but I do wish we had a little bit more, because I am still, you know, super impressed with what they did in episode 8 with the graveyard. But let's talk about character moments and dialogue, because The Walking Dead is nailing it this season with the dialogue. I mean, there's so many great moments where the characters are just talking and it feels like classic Walking Dead. And if you watch my reviews from the first half, you're gonna hear me say that a lot, but it's so true, and I can't help but, you know, notice it, because the last couple of seasons were lacking that, and this season is such a big improvement on that. Like early on in the beginning, when the group were when those people at the hilltop were planning, you know, going after, you know, Michonne's group, and they were all like huddled around the map. That reminded me of season 2 when Rick and the group were huddled around the car looking at the map to go after Sophia. There's so many good character moments that are, if you look back in prior seasons, you can see the parallel, and it really reminds you of the older seasons. And the moment where Daryl and Michonne are walking and they were talking about, you know, the new people and Rick, like, I love moments like that, especially when they were talking about Rick and Michonne was saying thanks for looking for Rick, and, you know, because Daryl was out there looking for a body and he noticed that he didn't find one. So I like how they keep circling back to this little thing where Daryl was looking for Rick and he did end up finding a body, because, you know, us fans, we know he's alive. They don't, but I like how they keep bringing that up, because it's a little bit of foreshadowing, because maybe sometime in the future one of the characters are gonna finally figure out that Rick is alive, and it's gonna kind of send off you know, the show into a new direction. But that's way too early for now. I'm talking like season 10 or something. But I do like how they keep circling back to that moment where Daryl, you know, was out there looking for Rick. I do like that. The music this episode was also really good, and I don't usually talk about music in my reviews, but I couldn't help but talk about it in this one, because the music, something about the music they had in this episode really synced well with the visuals and what we were seeing, like when they were killing the whispers in the bridge, and then also the funeral. The music, I thought, was a really nice touch to the scenes that we were watching in this episode in particular. Lydia's first scene was great. I think Cassidy McClinsky, hopefully that's how you said her last name, I thought she did a great job in this episode. The interrogation scene was also really well done. Like, I loved when, you know, they slammed the chair, and, you know, I wish we got more of it though, but it was still a really cool thing seeing that come to life from the comics, you know, them slamming the chair and putting it on there, and Michonne's like, you know, you need to tell us what the hell is going on. Like, I did like that, but we got that little bit, and then it cut to another, you know, part of the story, and then we didn't get back to them until like 20 minutes later. That was a big issue for me. Like, I wish we got more of that. They did do a great job with the Henry and Lydia storyline, I will say, because, you know, Henry backing up Lydia and telling Daryl to back off, and then obviously we saw that at the end when they exchanged names and they're gonna start to like each other. Obviously, I did like that, I have to admit, and I was a little bit worried because I'm not that attached to Henry as I was for Carl, and as much as I wish that this was Carl and Lydia, you know, so far I did like that little bit. I think Henry, you know, he's doing a really good job. Is it Matt Lintz? They're all siblings who play you know, Henry brothers. I don't know, Matt Lintz or Max Lintz, one of them, but they're doing a good job so far. And, you know, I was sold, and I did like, you know, that scene between him and Lydia. Round of applause to her brother Norman Reedus also, who was really terrific in this episode. I love the scene when he went up in Lydia's face and, you know, shoved the knife and was demanding answers. I want more of that Daryl. That is a Daryl that we did not have for a long time, and I'm smiling just thinking about it, because I just love that scene so much. Norman Reedus killed it. That was great writing. Great stuff for Daryl, who who deserves stuff like that, especially being the character he is. I want to see more of that. Let's talk about Rosita being pregnant. Now they keep throwing curveballs at us with Rosita's character. Like first, she kissed Gabriel, and we're like, whoa, what the hell is going on here? And then now she's pregnant by Sadiq. Like, Rosita is in a very interesting situation here. Eugene likes her. She's in a relationship with Gabriel, and now she has Sadiq's baby. Like, holy shit, this is gonna be very interesting to play out. With The Walking Dead, I'm not that like I like relationships and stuff in The Walking Dead because I like the characters, but I can live without them. But this is one that I'm very interested in now because she's in a very tight situation with 3 different guys, and I want to see how this plays out. And Gabriel doesn't even know about the baby, and they keep throwing curveballs at us with Rosita, so I'm excited to see what is actually going to go on here. But I am team Rogine, I guess you would say. I want to see Eugene and Rosita together, if I'm going to be quite frank. I think they would make a good couple. And like I was saying in the beginning of this review, if you're a fan of Negan, you probably love this episode. And I did like the Negan bit in the episode because I shouldn't really say bit. It was like the majority of the episode. But yeah, with Negan, I couldn't help but see the parallels between him and Rick, because we've seen, and the fact that he was wearing Rick's clothes did not help. But we've seen Rick surviving on his own and being on his own, like episode 1 basically. We've never really seen Negan do that. He's always been surrounded by hundreds of people, so it was cool for a change to see him survive and do his own thing. It was a really interesting journey that I didn't mind watching. I actually really enjoyed. I didn't get the whole thing with Big Richie. I thought that was like a touch bit dramatic. I mean, I get that this was a very big disappointment for Negan, seeing his home get destroyed, but I'm not sure why he was fixated on Big Richie. I might have missed something. I don't know. If I missed something, leave in the comments, but I don't know who Big Richie is. I don't know. I just felt I was a little off there. But it was sad seeing him, put up the furniture and sit down, and seeing this place where he worked so hard to build just completely destroyed. And it was pretty crazy to think about too, because like 2 years ago, this man took down Glenn and Abraham, and we thought he was the biggest, baddest villain. And we spent 2 years in the sanctuary prospering, and then now this place is like destroyed. It's so crazy to think about how far it's been, since those Negan times. Alright, but let's talk about that alpha reveal. I did not expect us to get it that early. I thought it would be at the end of episode 10. But I guess we got it now. I mean, I'm not complaining though. It's really awesome. So it looks like next episode she's gonna go to the hilltop. The sequence leading up to Alpha was great though. When they saw the walker, and we knew as fans, we knew that's Alpha, and then she just stopped. And then the camera angle like changed, and we saw the Whisperer standing there still, and then we saw more Whispers. Like, I love that. That's exactly something you would see in a horror movie, and they're really staying true to that. They keep saying that in interviews, like they're getting horror movie vibes, and I love how they're staying true to that, and they're doing a good job with it. And yeah, that end sequence was great. Alpha did sound a little bit funny at the end. She was like, "Trail ends here." Like, I don't know. That was a horrible impression. But that was, I don't know. I don't know about her sound yet. I mean, I think she sounds a lot like the governor in a way. But just her sound was not what I was expecting. We saw it in the previous trailer, but just that bit, like, it's very hard to understand her. But I think she said, like, trail ends here in a very, muffled voice. But still, I'm liking Alpha. I love that shotgun moment. It was great. But yeah, a lot of great stuff was set up in this episode. Words cannot explain how excited I am for next week's episode. I just want to see Alpha's front face without the mask on. I just want to see her. We've seen the back of her head. We've seen her with the mask on. I just want to see how she looks like without the mask. I cannot wait for it. Yeah, a lot of great stuff are being set up in this episode. They keep mentioning the fair. We know, the synopsis dropped for the fair, yesterday. A lot of big stuff is coming up, and this next half season looks to be great. But for this episode, yeah, it was definitely a solid episode, very enjoyable. And set up a lot of great stuff for the next couple episodes. But I am going to wrap it up there. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, and I want to hear from you in the comments down below. So please comment all your thoughts and your opinions and reviews of the episode, and I definitely can't wait to read them. But I am going to wrap it up there for this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating. I have my breakdown for the episode 10 trailer titled Omega. That's going to be coming out tomorrow morning, so be sure to stay tuned for that by hitting that subscribe button. Again, thanks for watching, and leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys later.